Yo, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you may be listening or watching this. This is the seventh installment of the Purple Rain podcast with Sudden Death and Simply AS10. Simply, how are you today, bro?
I'm doing good. Could be better, but I'll be honest. One of the highlights of my year happened last night. Honestly,
Yeah,
it
same,
happened.
man.
We'll get into it, but it
Definitely,
happened.
definitely, man. But that is Alex Soberman. Go ahead and tell them where they can find you, bro.
You can find me on Twitter at @AlexSoberman_, on Instagram at simplyas10.prod. You know, if it's like sports edits, drop me a sub on my YouTube, Simply AS10, the one with little Astro World, little graphics. Go ahead and do that. And how about you? Where can you be found at?
Yeah, man. I can be found on Twitter or Instagram at Sudden Death. Yeah, pretty much that's all. But this guy here, Alex Soberman, I wanted to just bring up, just his videos, and I know I bring it up like every week, but he's so on the point, like literally, it's on a dime, wink, wink. You know what I mean? Like him posting videos, like how quick he gets it out. It's like something happens and the video's already out, like 15 minutes later.
Appreciate
So
that.
if you like, up to date stuff, up to date NFL highlights, definitely go, follow his channel, subscribe to his channel, and follow him on Twitter and Instagram as well. But yeah,
Means a lot. I tell you what,
yeah,
I can't even, sometimes I can't even celebrate plays because I'm like, oh, I gotta get that out ASAP, ASAP,
yeah.
ASAP. So it's like I can get my celebration for like 20 seconds, gotta get it out just like that.
Yeah.
So that's how it is.
Let's see. So all you guys in the chat right now, what's up to you guys? Let's see. We got our guy Zay King 56 in here.
Coming through as
Trez, what's
always.
good, bro?
Shout out Zay King.
Always. Shout out to you, Falou. Shout out to you as well. Faithful. Fatal Storm Clan. Shout out to you, man. Let's see. We've got a lot of people in here right now. If you're in here right now, go ahead and just like this video. You know what I'm saying? Just, get it out the way. If you're watching now, go ahead and like the video. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel too. Why not? But yeah, what's up to you guys? We love you guys. We're going to talk some Ravens football today and also some NFL talk. We're going to get into our fantasy talk at the end. So get your fantasy football questions ready.
Ooh,
It's playoff time.
I was in a dogfight this week, and I'll tell you about it a little bit later in the show.
Yeah, we're gonna get into all that, but get your fantasy football questions ready and primed for later on in the episode because we're gonna be answering all of those. But so today's Thursday. At the time we're recording this, December the 3rd, which means that yesterday was December the 2nd, which was a Wednesday, and
Happy
the
birthday
Ravens
to my
played
mom.
football.
It's my mom's
Wow,
birthday.
happy
Happy birthday, Mom. If you're watching, happy birthday.
Shout out to Mama Simply.
Mama Simply. There we go.
Yeah. Let's see, bro. Big Ravens fans for real. I'm loving you guys in the chat so far, man. Just keep this up. We're going to talk with you guys for a little while here. But yesterday we had some Ravens football.
Oh, on a Wednesday. Some Wednesday afternoon football.
Yeah.
Not Wednesday night, afternoon.
That's probably the first time the Ravens played on a Wednesday, like ever.
I think you're right. Pretty sure you're correct.
Yeah, and the last Wednesday NFL game was 2012, I believe, with the Cowboys. Yep. I think you were telling me about that actually.
Cowboys Giants.
But nonetheless, we lost. We lost the game to the Steelers yesterday. Pain, anguish, suffering. We lost 19-14, so it wasn't like a blowout. I predicted us to lose by 7.
Yeah,
we lost by 5. Now the odds were we were supposed to lose by 10, right? That's what I saw.
Yeah, and it's like they kind of set themselves up for losing there because Ravens Steelers is always close. I don't care who's in the game. Look at it last year we played them when we hurt Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges came in. Overtime, 34-28. I was like, come on, you can't do that.
Yeah, we almost won. It's always close, but I still feel like they should have really, the Steelers that is, they should have really applied the pressure and got us out of there. But that's neither here nor there. We're gonna talk about it. I actually didn't get to see all of the first half. There was a couple plays that I missed because I was still at work, but I got off work just in time for the second half. Just give me your thoughts, your initial thoughts on the game, how you felt about it, bro.
So, since you didn't watch the first half, you missed a fumble and a pick 6 from RG3. Wasn't pretty.
I saw the fumble. I didn't see the pick 6 though.
But if we're gonna think, I'm gonna say positive. Our defense yesterday looked shut down. That defense deserves all the credit. Every player on there, we were missing Calais Campbell, Brandon Williams, Justin Matabike, Matt Judon, our edge rushers our
Yeah.
prime edge rushers, missing them, and that defense played their asses off,
Yeah,
and
they
they
showed
deserve
up.
all the credit. And for them, like I'm gonna take just positives out of a loss. The defense, they showed they can stick up there. It's not the Chiefs' offense, but it's the Steelers. They're 11-0 for a reason. I don't care who they
Yeah.
played. They played just great D, um, and holding the 19 points. I can't get mad at that because it put the offense in a position to win. Now, in the end, it fell apart. Questionable cause. We'll get to that, but that's my takeaway. I mean, first quarter I expect to be ugly. Besides that, I mean, I really can't get mad. I mean, our team, we have some warriors.
Yeah, we do. And shout out to Wink Martindale
Honestly,
because with that depleted not offense but defense, he still conjured up a game plan to keep the Steelers underneath 20 points, which is amazing. You know, with all those weapons that they have on the offensive side of the ball, Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, Eric Ebron, Juju Smith-Schuster. I know they were missing James Conner, but you know, I have a feeling that the Steelers could do without James Conner.
I definitely think if push comes to shove, he might get the cat boot soon if he's making too much.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that there. But yeah, like I said, shout out to Wink Martindale. He definitely showed off. Now, on the other side of the ball, Greg Roman, I do not think he showed off at all. I think he actually showed his ass for, you know, what the eighth millionth time in the row. So it's just like I don't know what I'm gonna get, you know, out of Greg Roman moving forward. And that's my biggest takeaway from this game. With the depletion of like our weapons on offense, it still looked like we were playing way too safe. Playing way too safe. You know what I mean? Like with RG3 in, just the play calling was not there. Like we weren't really playing to his strengths. We were trying to like force the Lamar type plays with RG3 on certain instances, which was killing me. But I didn't really like what I saw from Greg Roman. What did you see from Greg Roman that kind of ticked you off? Because I know you're ticked off
Man,
too.
oh, I'm very ticked off. You know, when you put our offense in a position to just not even drive down the field, like we have
Yeah.
Gus Edwards, who I'm a big fan of his.
Right.
9 carries. Now Justice Hill, I like the way he played. You know, them cuts were lethal. I definitely think he earned himself more snaps in the future weeks. But I do not agree with those third down calls, like those option calls. Come on.
Yeah.
That's not, you're not going to win any games doing that.
Yeah.
And then just the lack of just passes. RG3 just couldn't throw the ball for his life yesterday either.
Yeah.
But I want to get into RG3 as well.
Yeah.
So we were all watching. He hurt his hamstring on that run in the second quarter. Came out that he was not 100% after that. Personally, I believe it's a very selfish move to keep yourself in the game because you hindered our chances of winning the game, maybe just going forward and winning. Bring in Trace then. I mean, Trace didn't do amazing, but he looked comfortable for his first start as a quarterback. That's just me.
Did.
And he did throw it on a dime. Like, he is not even trying. How to get it out there?
That he did. We'll get into his touchdown in a minute, but
I can't wait.
RG3, yeah. I mean, RG3, he looked very pedestrian out there for the majority of the game. It just did not look like he was going to be that guy to come in and win us that game. It just did not look like that at any point. And, you know, RG3, his whole career, he struggled with some of the same things, you know, like kind of keeping focus downfield, kind of being able to, what's the word? Adapt. You know what I mean? Kind of like Lamar Jackson does.
Yeah.
You know, if the play breaks down, if his first read's not there, if his second read's not there, he may even look to his third read, or he might like scramble out and try to, you know, go for a run. RG3, if his first or second read is not there, it's like he doesn't know what to do. You know what I mean? And he's not fast enough to dip out of the pocket like Lamar Jackson is.
He had happy feet, it looked like, too. You know, he was getting caught up in the pocket. And, I mean, for the makeshift line, I want to give a big shout out to our undrafted free agent center, Tristan Colon Castillo.
Absolutely.
First ever game against one of the best, if not the best front seven in the NFL, and he did his thing. Like that may go overlooked, but we may have found our center for the future because, you know, Skura lost his job, and Makari can play right guard, right tackle. And the right tackle right now between Fluker and Phillips is not looking good. So it may have been best for the line. We'll see.
We'll see. Moving forward, and I think that, like, you know, this could have been like it seems like a curse, but it can also be like a blessing for us. The fact that we got to, you know, kind of try out a bunch of new players to see who we can kind of plug in if need be. like Castillo. Like what is it, Castillo, right?
Yeah, because Colon Castillo, but you can call him
Yeah,
Castillo.
yeah. So like us getting to try him out is definitely very important for us because we were struggling at the center position like pretty much all year. So
Yeah.
us knowing now that we have like that, option going forward, I think that's huge for us. So of course it was a curse that we didn't have a lot of our players, but it was also like a little bit of a blessing as well because we got to see some new talent on both sides of the football. Let's see here. We
And
got
bringing up
what
new
you say?
talent, we
Yeah,
just had Devontae Harris off of waivers from the Broncos.
he played
He
well.
stepped up. He
Yeah.
had the forced fumble on the punt return, which our special teams amazing per usual. And
Hmm.
then Anthony Levine with the recovery. I believe Levine earns some defensive snaps because, I mean, you have nothing. He's done everything. I think he should just play in the box, if a linebacker is tired. And then
Yep.
also they threw a jump ball. I think it was to Deontay Johnson.
Hmm.
And he pulled out a peanut punch and he just punched it out.
Punched it right
So
out. Yeah.
for not being on the team that long and having such a good game, a big, 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 big shout out to him as well. Just people stepped up. It's kind of like felt like a preseason game. I didn't know something. I mean, I knew most of them, but it's who the casual fans may not know. They stepped up
Yeah.
and did their thing. So
Especially with Jimmy Smith going down, right?
that
Like
was, yeah.
that was huge. So having
hurt.
somebody to step up in his shoes, I believe Marcus Peters got shaken up as well, didn't
He did, and he got ran over by Benny Snow.
he?
That wasn't
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, man. I was on Twitter this morning and I saw like Juju had made a tweet about him like stiff arming what's his name, Tremont Williams.
A 37-year-old Tremont Williams.
Yeah, I'm
And
just
it got the angry run on Good Morning Football. I was watching that. That's back-to-back weeks now because the last week was AJ Brown and this week was Juju. I'm like, for everybody saying no, like the Ravens get the special treatment, nobody likes us. I mean, I don't see the
Nobody.
special treatment. Like we just get dogged on, and I kind of
Yeah.
like that underdog mentality because right now we just got to win out to make the playoffs.
Yeah, we do. We gotta win out so we can make the playoffs. That is the most important thing on our agenda right now. Make the playoffs, win the rest of our games, because like we already have 5 losses, so we definitely got to win out from here.
Yeah, we do. I mean,
Let's see.
thankfully for us, the Browns have some hard games. They play the Titans this week and then the Steelers week 17. We hold a tiebreaker over the Colts. So I know it's gonna hate to do it, but you got to root for the Titans. You
Got
need the
to,
Titans to win
yeah.
the AFC South. Put on your crowns and be on that King Henry hype. The Dolphins, they have. I don't know who they play this week. Oh, they have the Bengals this week. So hopefully
Right.
Jeff Driscoll can get it done. But I don't think he will. But Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think, is playing. So maybe you don't get any Fitzmagic this week. Fitztragic.
I wonder
hopefully.
why they're keeping Tua out. Why are they
He's
keeping
hurt.
Tua out? He's hurt. Is
So
he?
I think it was in their practice. He went to throw a ball and his finger went hard on the helmet.
Oh,
So I think they're just taking
yeah.
precaution. I'm pretty sure.
I think Drew Brees had that same injury not too long ago. Probably like a season
Last
or two
year
ago.
against the Rams, and that's
Yeah.
when Teddy came in.
Yep.
I remember that.
Definitely remember that. But let's see. We've got a couple of questions in the chat here. We say, let's see. I saw a question in here talking about Trace McSorley. Do y'all think he's better than Lamar? LOL.
All jokes.
All jokes. It's all jokes, man. Trace McSorley is like a big meme. So him getting in the game yesterday was huge. It was huge for the Ravens community because people were waiting so long for him to get on the field, and he finally did.
It brought like happiness to me. Like, I wasn't even mad after the loss. I saw Trace McSorley throw a touchdown in a division game, not against the Browns, not against the Bengals, the Steelers in Heinz Field on primetime television. It doesn't get much bigger.
Television, man. I know he was definitely probably like the story on like, the big network shows this morning. Like, oh, the kid Trace McSorley came in at the end, threw a touchdown, yada, yada, yada. Probably the first time they ever even, mentioned his name.
Yeah.
But you know how it goes. But Fatal Storm Clan, our guy, what's up, man? He says, if we had Trace as starter, would we have won?
I don't want to play the hypothetical game. I'm not going to say if he was a starter, but I'm going to say if he came in after RG3 got hurt, maybe.
So if he came in at halftime?
Yeah, and I actually want to talk about halftime. Did you see what happened?
Right before halftime? Yeah, so
Okay.
I know that there was a play run when Gus Edwards, he got stopped short of at the 1 yard line or whatever.
Yeah.
And basically one of their defensive linemen just kind of laid on him to kind of burn the clock.
Yeah.
So we only had time for one more play, and then Luke Wilson dropped a touchdown.
Yeah, and there's so many things you brought up in that one play that I can just go on a tangent about. But that number one was a delay of game penalty. The
Yeah.
officiating staff, the NFL, if you want the NFL players to play up to their standard, referees ref up to your standard, because it's been multiple games this year I've seen us get, I'm not going to say the word, but screwed over. It's
Yeah.
been bad. You got to fix it. I think at the time, Boogie Cousins, he was like, you know what's going on. It's sickening, because it is. I mean, if you see somebody laying on the ground, it's not like there's 15 minutes left, 12 minutes. There's 20 seconds left in the half in a close game.
Yeah.
Like, you got to do something. But in defense of that, Harbaugh, I mean, he's a whiny coach, not his biggest fan. I mean, push him off of you. Like, who cares? It's football. Get up. But, and with the Luke Wilson drop, cut him, sign Delaney Walker, because he had a shocker of a game yesterday.
Yeah, man. That drop could have made the difference, like all the difference in the game. Like us going into halftime with the lead, I think that'd have been huge for us. We'd have came out with so much more momentum. And I feel like we would have had a much better chance to win the game. But, shoulda, woulda, coulda. It didn't happen at the end of the day. And I definitely agree with you. I think we should probably cut Luke Wilson and sign Delaney Walker. I think he's just a more bona fide, tight end who's going to come down with that ball. He's going to come down with that ball. Simple as that.
Yeah.
But let's see.
I mean, I would keep Luke Wilson for the blocking, not for the kind of like we would do with Hayden Hurst. He blocked a lot more than he caught.
Yeah, right.
But with that being said, too, at that goal line drive, why don't you spike the ball? Take the points. You know how crucial 3 points is against the Steelers. I don't get that.
That's true. It was definitely very bad clock management. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And we're normally not bad with that sort of thing, which is like weird. So let's see. Our man Zay King 56, he says Roman was babying our offense yesterday. He says he needs to let our guys loose, and Rapunzel is like our offense, trapped in a tower by a witch, who was Greg Roman. When Rapunzel got out, she was fine. Inside, we knew what to see. So
it's an analogy. I like that.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Shout out to you, Zay King.
Coming through with the analysis. Love to see it.
Right. I mean, and that's pretty true. Like
it
does seem like our offense is kind of locked up. We have the pieces, we have the weapons, the tools. We saw them on full display last year. You know what I mean? And we have like the same weapons this year, minus a few guys, Hayden Hurst, Yonda, which are huge pieces, of course. But we should still be able to make. We should be better offensively than we are now. And I think at the end of the day, like we've been preaching since we started this podcast, that falls on Greg Roman. And something needs to be done. And I think we mentioned it last week that like if we don't make the playoffs, if we miss the playoffs, he's probably getting fired.
And speaking of coaches, I will be sick if Wink goes to another team as a head coach, because we cannot afford to lose him.
I don't think he will, though.
I hope not, but I know the Giants were interested in him last year, and they picked Joe Judge. Yeah, they had a meeting, and then the Browns had a meeting with Greg Roman. Man, they should have taken him then, because they would have been worse off. Stefanski, I mean, as a Browns fan, Stefanski's a great head coach so far. But
I mean, like, what other teams would need a head coach besides like the Jets?
I think the Jets
needs to go.
The Jags possibly. Marone might be out of there. I think the Falcons. I think Raheem Moore has done a great job as head coach. I think he should get that job.
Yeah,
because they're 4-2 since he took over. They would be 5-1 if Todd Gurley takes the knee at the 1.
This is true.
Maybe Mike McCarthy, I think too. I think the Cowboys should get
he's not on the hot seat though. I
mean,
they've already come out and said that like they're sticking with him no matter what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are the teams having pretty bad years? Can't think of any other teams that would get rid of their coach unless they retire. But I can't think of any other team. So maybe the Bears, Matt Nagy. Maybe the Bears.
Matt Nagy. Yeah, I mean the Bears really have not lived up to expectations at all. Let's see.
They started off 5-1. They've been like a 5 or 6 game losing streak since, so it's not looking good for them.
A lot of that's Trubisky too, though, isn't it?
It's the whole Trubisky Foles, the back and forth, and Nagy was calling offensive plays, and they handed it over to somebody else, and then Nagy called out his players. Like, you got to show more heart. Coaches calling out the players is never good. So I don't think it'll end well with Chicago.
Okay. So let's see.
Oh yeah, the Texans. I don't know
The
if Romeo Crennel. I
Texans.
don't know if Romeo Crennel. Shout out to
I
my
don't
dad.
know.
He just can't remember the Texans. I'm like, that's a good
The
one.
Texans. Yeah, man, the Texans, they can honestly need a reboot like in, every sense of the imagination, bro. Like they need everything right
And
now,
Deshaun
man.
Watson. Did you watch the Thanksgiving game against the Lions?
Yes.
How he built around Deshaun Watson because he will get them back to the playoffs like that. He is a great quarterback.
I think it's the ownership in Houston though is
I
really
think
like,
it is too.
screwing them over.
I think it is.
Let's see. So, yeah, going back to our game though against the Steelers yesterday, there was a lot of silver linings, and like we talked about,
It was.
we saw Demonte Harris step up, Castillo, our center, step up. Even when Trace McSorley got in the game, there was a lot of hype and energy around it. And honestly, I didn't expect him to do anything. I expected him to probably throw an interception, maybe take a sack or three, and just it wasn't going to be good. But like you said earlier, he looked very calm, very comfortable, very poised for this being like his first time actually getting in the game,
Yeah.
especially against the Steelers. Like, come on, like we're just throwing him to the wolves basically, and he stepped up, and that throw to Hollywood, was
You can say
very
it.
very. It was very interesting. That yeah, he threw it on a dime.
Yeah,
He
there we
threw it on
go.
a
I was
dime.
waiting for it.
Yeah. It was very interesting though, that whole entire play. Because it wasn't like he threw it over the top to Hollywood on a super deep ball. It was kind of like an out route, right? And like
Yeah.
Hollywood kind of came back to the ball, and then he just had the yak and he just kind of finished it off. And once Hollywood gets out in open space and you got guys chasing him trying to take angles and stuff like that, you're probably not going to get him. So a lot of that, shout out to Hollywood or Marquise. He still hasn't
Marquise.
earned back Hollywood just yet. You're telling me that before the show, but shout out to
He played my
Marquise
game.
Brown. Yeah, he definitely had his best play of the year yesterday with Trace McSorley, and that's something that's very interesting because Lamar should be back next week. And
Yeah,
I
he
know
should
that,
be. Harbaugh
yeah.
didn't say if he'll. I think Harbaugh's playing the mind games. It's like, okay, well, if it's Lamar, we'll have to watch film on Lamar. But if it's McSorley, we have to look at McSorley film. So it's like, you know what? Let the Cowboys deal with that.
Yeah, chess not checkers.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Exactly.
So I think that Trace McSorley, like you said, he played well, but that play to Hollywood though, I wonder if the talks are gonna be like, oh, is Hollywood, does he perform better with Trace McSorley, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Is Lamar gonna be? I feel like Lamar is gonna be on a lot shorter leash with a lot of like Ravens fans.
He. Yeah, you're right, but I don't know.
Like if
It
he
was
if he comes
it was
back and he
garbage
doesn't
time,
look
too.
good,
It was It was 19-7, like less than 4 minutes. I don't know. They were playing that prevent. I mean, Lamar always sees press and he sees the box always stacked up.
That's a good point. Good point.
That's. I mean, you bring up a good point too. It's people are going to be saying, even if they're joking, like, "Oh, put Trace in." No, don't put Trace in. We have the reigning MVP, and you could tell like we were missing him yesterday because people say they always come at Lamar, but if you look at RG3 stat line,
Yeah.
that is what they think Lamar is. Like he has more rushing yards than passing yards.
Right.
No, he'll have 50 at the most, or maybe 70, 80 if he breaks off a big run. RG3,
Yeah.
he was only relying on his legs to get stuff done yesterday.
Right. Now, with that being said, do you think that Trace McSorley should take over the second string over RG3?
100%. 100%.
Ooh,
Because
okay.
I truly believe RG3 stayed in yesterday to booster up his value to teams in the offseason as their starter or maybe another backup. Because
Yeah.
I think that's why we got Tyler Huntley. Because we're not going to be paying RG3 a backup, what, $1.5 million? We can put that somewhere else.
Yeah, we definitely could. I think we definitely need to get rid of his contract, bro. Like, I don't know what having RG3 as a backup is going to do for us. It's not going to win us games. And you want your backup to at least be somebody who can win you a football game. And to win a football game, you have to be able to throw the football. And I don't think that RG3 he's just not that guy. He's just not
He
that
didn't
guy.
look comfortable.
Not at all. Didn't look comfortable at all. Trace McSorley looked way more comfortable
And what I
than
love
RG3 did.
on that 4th and 2, I didn't like the play call, the power with what was it? The guards going out. I can't think of it right now. The pulling guard, and
Yeah.
then Minka just lit him up, but he got right up and started talking trash. I needed that. That
Yeah.
was just it was just so good to see. I'm like, okay, like we have fighters on this team. So
Energy, yeah.
yeah, and like
It was
that's
good to
a
see.
second year quarterback talking to like a all Pro Bowl safety. I'm like, I'm here for it. Why not?
Yeah, yeah. Gaming Titan God says, yes, Trace needs to be second string. I mean, I agree. I totally agree, man.
Yeah.
Uh, Kenny
And
Silverman, shout out to you, man. He says he proved yesterday he doesn't give us a chance to win. Absolutely. What are you about to say, though?
bring up. I saw we have Huntley. People talking about Tyler Huntley.
Mm-hmm.
Him
Yeah.
and Trace are the only two healthy quarterbacks, so they'll be taking the reps in practice this week. And a good point is those guys who were out on the field, Trace has like never played with them. Trace hasn't
Mm-hmm.
thrown a Marquise Brown. He's only thrown a Boykin, I believe, because in the preseason last year. Hasn't thrown
Yeah.
a Dez. Maybe Dez on the practice squad, but no, hasn't thrown to most of these guys. So shout out to him for not taking first team reps. He was on the COVID list for 2 weeks. He came
Yeah.
in look better than a guy who's been in games last year multiple times. So he earned my respect for that. He's a
Yeah.
fighter.
Big shout out to Trace McSorley. We needed that energy, and we can only imagine what he could have done with just more time. If we would have put him in one drive sooner, where we
The
could have
what
gone.
ifs.
Who knows? The what ifs. The what ifs. But it happens. Of course, we won't see much more Trace McSorley once Lamar Jackson comes back.
Well,
Let's see.
let's hope we have some blowouts and he can come one in the fourth quarter. Let's hope that.
Let's
Like
hope
last
we
year.
have some blowouts. We haven't had
Yeah.
any blowouts since week 1.
That's
Or
yeah, you're
do we
right.
do we blow out the
Or-
Titans? I mean, not the Titans, but the Texans. The Texans.
No, because I remember we kept Lamar in and Harbaugh faced backlash for it. So no,
Yeah.
we could have put an RG3, but it was smart keeping in Lamar because there was like no preseason. There was no preseason, so all the
Yeah.
reps count.
Now, one thing that really before the game, I think it was probably around noon yesterday. I think the news came out that Dobbins and Ingram were not going to play, even though they were cleared from the COVID list. They
Yeah.
still didn't play. So our running back tandem last night was Gus Edwards and Justice Hill. Now, what did you like out of the running backs? What didn't you like?
I didn't like most of it. I mean, there really wasn't anything there. I mean, most of the runs or long runs came from Justice Hill, but he was getting. There was the one in the first drive. RG3 set him up to get his head absolutely knocked off.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a swing route, and he threw it in front of him, and he got clean, and he got up. But I'm like,
Yeah.
really?
And he held
Like,
on
you're
to
gonna
it,
do?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, you're gonna really RG3? Come on, just throw it.
Come on, man.
You can't do that.
Come on. Let's throw it on a dime.
Right. But I think Gus Edwards had 9 carries for 10 yards. Wasn't that good?
He had some decent runs, though.
Let me pull up the stats real quick.
Yeah, I think one of his runs got called back by a fluker hold, if I'm not mistaken.
I say let's get into the penalties because I have an interesting stat for everybody about penalties.
Yeah, what's up with the penalties? Because penalties is something that's been plaguing us all year. In the Steelers game, the first one, in the Titans game, even in the Colts game that we won,
Chiefs game.
Chiefs game, we were just terrible with penalties. And I feel like if we cut down on that, we'd actually have a lot better record, and hopefully we can cut down on that for the rest of the season. But go ahead, bro.
So Gus had 9 carries for 10 yards. His longest was 6 yards. Justice Hill had 9 carries for 35. RG3 7 for 68, and then McSorley 3 for 16.
Okay. Now about the penalties, though.
Okay, let me pull this up. I have a bookmarked on Twitter. Okay, so the calls against the Ravens tied for 5th in the NFL, 72. Calls in favor of the Ravens, 47, tied for 31st in the league. We have a penalty differential of negative 25. That's the worst mark in the NFL by 11.
Wow.
11.
Man, yeah. Like I said, penalties have been something that have been killing us all year. It just seems that we cannot get right. And I think that a lot of it, I think the worst penalties come from the ticky-tack pass interference calls, because I know Marlowe had one yesterday, right?
Yeah, on Claypool, and Claypool likes to talk. I'm not gonna get into it, but I'm not a huge fan of the way Claypool has been talking. I'm like, come on, and it was super soft. It was because Claypool initiated contact. I'm pretty sure, and then
Yeah.
Marlon was just like, okay, like if he can do it, why can't I do it? And then they
Yeah.
call it. Of course, everyone's gonna call it against the corner. That wasn't a a good sight. But I don't know if you saw on the 3rd and 6, which basically kind of iced the game off. There was a
Yeah.
false start. Did you see that?
No, I didn't notice that.
Oh, well, okay, I can. If I send you the tweet, can you pull it up on the
Oh
screen?
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. There was
Perfect.
a
Okay.
false start on that last play, and nobody noticed.
Nope.
That
And
is
then
crazy.
we can talk about the 4th and 1 too. How the ball was marked inches behind, but they gave it to him.
Yeah, I thought. See, on that last one, um, keeping it real says, "What up, guys? What's up? Keeping it
What's
real.
up?
Been loving your videos lately, man. They, I love the energy. Keep doing what you're doing, man. But
Shout out to all the Ravens YouTube while we're here.
absolutely,
Shout out to everybody doing their thing. I think we're the best community of NFL teams on the YouTube. I might be
absolutely.
biased, but
Don't let them tell you any different. But on that play
it's a
though,
big
I think that that ball was a first down. After watching,
okay.
the replay, I saw him kind of like lean and kind of break the plane for the first down, and then when he came
Okay.
down, it looked like he was a little bit short. So I did think it was a first down. I wasn't really complaining too much about that. But what's up with this false start though? I think I'm gonna
So
check this
it's a
out. Let's
picture. I
see.
can't get it. If I could, I could pull it up. I can send it to you, but
Let's see.
I only have a picture.
Okay.
So they have it circled who it was. It was their right tackle, and he just jumped, and you can see the ball is still on the ground, not even snapped yet. So I know you're
Huh.
pulling it up now. Yeah,
Yeah.
there it
So you can
is.
see there. Wow. So
And you can see Deshaun Elliott is about to blitz because he sees the offensive lineman moving.
and just nobody noticed this. This is the craziest thing, right? Here's my thing, man. Like refereeing, officiating in the NFL, it's so there has to be a better way to do this. I don't understand how
100%.
in the year 2020 we're just relying on a group of guys who, they're older guys. They're not, always the sharpest. And of course, these are professionals, so like I'm not like discrediting them in that way. But it's like there's human error in everything. So there's definitely going to be human error in officiating, and sometimes it costs teams the game, and we've seen it time and time again. I just feel like there has to be a better way for them to get calls right consistently because there is no consistency as it stands right now.
I think about it, and there are some calls that kind of just bang bang you can't make. But
Yeah.
I look back to the 2018 NFC Championship game, and now I have a soft spot for the Los Angeles Rams. I was
Hmm.
watching that game, and the fact they didn't call it pass interference on Nickel Roby-Coleman,
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember it. Like he hit him seconds before the ball's there. I'm like, and that is kind of when I was like, really, like we're gonna do this? Like you got to throw the yellow marker there. Come on,
Yeah. I mean, it's sometimes it's just blatant, you know,
it is.
or there are just calls where it's like a pass interference, and you can't go back and look at it for whatever reason. It's like why not? Why can't we go back and look at
Why
that?
can't we? And even when they would challenge it last year, there's just so much that you have to just be there and for them to reverse it. So it's
Yeah.
like, what is the point of the rule if it's just so hard to overturn?
Right. I think that like my biggest issue with like the officiating is that they're not always concerned about getting it right, but just them being right
Yeah,
themselves.
100%. They're scared to admit they're wrong.
Yeah.
They are scared
Yeah.
to admit they're wrong. And there are some, from my experience, the head referees and their crews I do not like are Brad Allen and Sean Hockley. Hockley, I know his dad was one, but bro, you are not a good referee. It's that simple. He is not a good one. And they're just so like cocky too, like they're on a different pedestal. Like, bro, no, you
Like,
are
come on,
like the
man.
most criticized people on the field over the players sometimes.
Yeah.
You know how hard that has
And
to be?
that's a problem, man. It's a real problem, and I think Goodell and those boys they need to take a deeper look into this in this off season and kind of see what can be done, moving forward to make things more accurate, to make things more consistent when it comes to the officiating, because that's how you're going to get the best product out of the NFL. At least I think. But
And we're no means blaming this on the referees. We're just trying to
no,
we
no,
want to see clean games no matter who's playing. And I've been saying
yeah,
that. There's been times where I'm watching games, I'm like, how is that a roughing the passer? I know the Chiefs Bucks game. There's some
right,
questionable rough. I'm like, really? Come on. They're not. That's
yeah,
or like when
come
you
on, man.
tackle somebody and they are throwing the ball. How are you supposed to just stop your momentum? You
Like
can't.
that roughing the passer on Big Ben yesterday. That was not roughing the passer.
And there's just ways you just cannot stop your momentum. So how is that roughing the passer? Or if they hit their helmet anyway, like how are they supposed to know where their helmet's going if they're not looking? It's just
Yeah.
it's just sometimes I just don't get what these guys are doing.
Or no, it wasn't on Big Ben. It was on was that was on Big Ben, that passing not passing interference, but roughing the passing call?
I think so. They had one on them and one on us. The one on us was questionable. I think they felt bad
Okay.
for us in third one, but I think you're right.
Hmm.
I know Tyus Bowser let him up. There wasn't one. I don't know who it
Yeah.
was on.
Oh, you know that what really pained me last night was like the that Tyus Bowser missed tackle towards the end.
Oh
I
yeah,
know you know what I'm talking about, man.
it
That
would have
kind of
been.
like that broke the back, that broke our backs right there. That was terrible.
I'll give it to though. Bowser has played some really good games. He's earned himself
Yeah.
a new contract. I say you got to lock him up. I think he
Yeah.
earned the money over Judon. Not just because Judon's made this money, but Bowser has played his ass off. Now that's
Right.
two back-to-back games. Titans and Steelers. He has a pick as an outside linebacker, not a corner, a safety. I
Yeah.
He's proved a lot of people wrong this year.
Absolutely. Let's see. I think our linebackers were actually pretty good yesterday as well, at least from what I saw. Malik Harrison,
He
uh,
needs more play time. And shout out to our guy, LJ Fort, because
LJ Fort.
he just wraps up tackles. He is a sure tackler. That we need more guys like him on the team. You know, they don't go for the ball. They just we're going to get you down. If the ball comes out, the ball comes out.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like he's definitely probably one of the most underrated pieces on our defense. So
And you could see when he was out, it was just we weren't right in the middle. We weren't
we
right.
were not. We were not. We weren't wrapping up. We weren't finishing plays the way that we normally would. So yeah, shout out to LJ Fort, shout out to Malik Harrison, shout out to Patrick Queen. What do you think of Queen's performance yesterday?
Uh, it's hard for me to judge rookies. You know,
Hmm.
because they didn't have any OTAs. You know, didn't have
Right.
the preseason. Uh, he's not good in pass coverage, which he can eventually learn, kind of like a CJ Mosley did.
Right.
Sometimes he'll miss his running gaps, but he can
Yeah.
rush the quarterback, and I love that. He will hit the quarterback. He will rush. He will apply pressure. For that, I
Okay.
like.
Yeah. He does. I mean, yeah, I definitely agree with that. I definitely want to see him develop more, as
Yeah,
time goes on. Like, hopefully, this last, how many games do we have left?
5.
5 games left. The
Yeah,
last 5 games, hopefully, he can really like step up and solidify a case for defensive rookie of the year, or
100%
something
agree.
like, yeah, because
And
he's
we
kind of fallen off, but he started
yeah
off very strong.
we play a depleted Cowboys offensive line next week, so
Hmm.
I expect us to blitz. So you might be speaking into existence because he may have 2 to 3 sacks next week if everything goes well, especially if Calais Campbell plays and Brandon Williams.
Hmm.
We
So
can have a
next
pretty
week
good game
against the Cowboys, I'm gonna let's make predictions right now.
right now.
Um, we're not gonna make a prediction on the game, but I'm just gonna talk about sacks. Four
Okay,
sacks, over under,
over, over.
over four. Ooh,
Yeah, it's gonna be Andy Dalton in there. Andy Dalton plays us well. I just feel with that line, we just gotta attack.
yeah.
And if Ben holds the ball longer than he does, because he gets it out quick, we would have gotten
Hmm.
to him yesterday. And if he's
Okay.
not, he's just big and he has that. He has this. I don't know where he gets his speed at, but he's sneaky quick.
Sneaky
I'll go over
quick.
4. Would you go over 4 under 4?
I would go, man.
Or would you say 4?
I think I will hold at 4. Honestly,
Okay.
I think we'll definitely get home on Andy Dalton a lot, but I do think that he'll probably. I see 2 picks from Andy Dalton. I see that.
Who
And
picks him
then,
off? Let me get the predictions. Who's
oh
gonna have him?
man, who picks him off? I got Marcus Peters getting one.
How much for a pick 6? 'Cause I need him. I need a Marcus Pierce pick 6 in my life soon. I really need it.
I definitely need that in my life as well. But I don't want to say pick six. I say he gets
Okay.
a pick. And then I think honestly, man, I think I don't want to say it. I'm gonna go Patrick Queen. It's a hot
Okay.
take.
He did
But
drop
look,
one
man,
yesterday, but
yeah,
the
he's getting
ball's
closer
getting
and
to his
closer.
hands.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
he's getting
like that.
closer and closer.
I
And
can.
my thing is like the plays that was calling up yesterday. He was dialing up a lot of those 3-man rushes. Fake the blitz, show the blitz.
Yeah.
And back the guys off in coverage. So I feel like against like an Andy Dalton with a depleted offensive line, if we're showing blitz, his eyes are already going to be low. His eyes are going to be low. He's going to be looking for that first read like no other. And we have Patrick Queen, acting like he's going to blitz and he drops back. And then, it might force him into a bad throw. Say somebody generates
True.
pressure on him. I think Patrick Queen could get that.
And
but
when
then
I think of
also,
us
yeah,
bringing the pressure and dropping people off, thinking that
yeah,
week 17 game against the Browns in 2018, we brought
yeah,
pressure, but Mosley drops back. Baker
yeah.
throws over the middle, he picks it off. So we could be seeing that again.
I
I
could
do like that. It could happen.
definitely. It could happen. It could happen, man. Yeah. So let's see. We've got about 30 people in here right now. Go ahead
Shout out
and
to
like,
everybody
yeah,
in
shout out
here.
to everybody in here right now. Let us know that you're in here in the chat. If you haven't already, we're going to start getting to some questions here. I saw
Drop
a
them.
question in here
Drop the
about
questions.
can we talk about the playoff picture and
Oh,
the remaining games,
of
predict our
course.
schedule going forward. We'll talk about that in just a minute here. But go ahead and like this video. Go ahead and subscribe to the Purple Rain Podcast channel. We're coming out with new Ravens content at least twice a week. At least twice a week. At a minimum,
Mondays and
yeah.
Thursdays.
Mondays
If you
and
don't know the schedule,
Thursdays.
it's Mondays and Thursdays.
Mondays and Thursdays at 6. That's barring the change depending on, whatever we have going
Yeah,
on. But
life.
we'll let you guys know. But let's see. Here's a broad question from Fatal Storm Clan, just real quick. Who will win the Super Bowl?
Kansas City Chiefs.
I think the Chiefs as well. I just think that there's nobody else who's going to keep up with them, and that's the problem. They're
Their
like,
their biggest issue is themselves because they could
yeah,
have put up more than 27 against the Bucks, and they let the Bucks come back. But that's a credit to the Bucks too.
yeah,
So, and 'cause in the playoffs, you can't make those mistakes. If they come back and you lose, you're out. I mean, it's not the regular season,
yeah,
but
that's right.
they are their own worst enemy. And I know we've both talked about how good they are. It's just hard to see them losing in the playoffs.
Yep. Let's see. Another question. Is Calais playing against the Cowboys? That's a very good question. We are not sure yet. But that would be awesome if he did get to play against the Cowboys and we
Come
get
back on
Brandon Williams
Thursday and
back.
ask us about that. Maybe Thursday or next Monday we'll get the answer.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get Brandon Williams back as well.
Because
That would be
stopping
awesome.
Zeke, we had to play Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna need some extra help for that. Let's
And
see.
he
what else
has
we
had
got.
his fumbling issues this year. Maybe a you know what? Maybe a fruit punch comes out this week.
Can't get mad at that at all. Let's see. Our guy Kenny, he says, any chance we see players on your channel?
Hopefully. Hopefully. I mean, we would love to. Hey, maybe if we make the
Absolutely.
playoffs, somebody can come through, a special guest. I
Yeah,
don't
you
know.
never know. You never know. So needless to say, subscribe to our channel and stay tuned.
Be on the lookout.
Yeah, be on the lookout for what comes in the future from the Purple Rain podcast. Let's see. So I think we answered this a little bit earlier. Another question is, should the Ravens trade RG3? I think the general consensus is yes. Move off of his contract. Free
Or
up
don't
that
resign
money.
him. Yeah, or don't
Exactly.
resign him.
Yeah. So let's see. Another question here we have from Dark Chaos Caxi. Shout out to you. He says, odds of Trace getting more significant reps while Lamar is out. McSorley's stocks going up. I think his stocks are definitely going up. If you throw a touchdown against the Steelers late in the game, and this is like your first introduction to the NFL, people are watching. It's on prime time. People are watching, So I think his stocks definitely are going up. But the odds of him getting more reps, significant reps at that, and I don't think Lamar is going to be out that much longer. I'm pretty sure he's going to play against the Cowboys.
Fingers crossed.
Maybe, fingers crossed, maybe Trace gets in the game for a couple snaps, just for, I don't know what. But, honestly, I don't even know what I'm saying here because Greg Roman's not that creative. He would never. So, answer is no, Dark Chaos.
As of right now, he's our QB1 because he'll be practicing with the first team this week.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. CJ, shout out to you. He says, do you think the Ravens can be 11-5 and they're going against the Browns? Do we think we could be 11-5? We'll get into our schedule. Our remaining schedule here in a second.
Do I think
Let's
we
see.
can? Yes. Do I think we will? No. And that's because of one offensive coordinator that used to work for the Niners and the Bills, goes by the name of Greg Roman. That is
Yeah.
the reason why.
Yeah,
I,
definitely.
what are your keys? Just let us know on how we can win out. Because that is our sure way to the play. Even if we win out, we don't make it to the playoffs. We need help. So I need
Yeah,
to know
we need
from you
help,
guys,
yeah.
how can we win these next 5 games? Because it is favorable towards us, but the Browns are nothing to play about. Monday night in Cleveland in 2 weeks.
Yeah. That is nothing to scoff at. That's for sure. Now, let's see. We're going to take a look at our schedule here, guys, and see what we need to do. You know, what games are probably most likely for us to win, which games are most likely for us to lose, maybe, and just talk about what needs to happen going forward. So here is
While
our
you're pulling that up,
schedule.
next Monday will be the Ravens Cowboys preview. Since we play on next
Yes.
Tuesday, weird times
Yes.
right now, but be on the lookout for that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So here's our schedule, our remaining schedule. You see, we just lost to Pittsburgh, 19-14. So next we play the Dallas Cowboys at home. So that's in Baltimore, like you said, on Tuesday at 8 o'clock. That game, I think that we definitely get the W. Just, you know, the prediction early, I think we get the W. What do you think?
Gotta agree with you, and I've been saying this. I think this is our first episode. I've been called it. This is the game where we see the X come out. It's happening.
X.
You just can't get rid of it. It's gonna happen.
Dez
Dez is
gets a
gonna get that
touchdown?
touchdown. I think it's happening, especially if Lamar's in. If Trace is in, maybe not. But if Lamar's in, he's getting that touchdown. I think it'll be a short smoke screen to like the right or the left, and Dez
Yeah.
does the rest. He just bodies everybody.
It'll probably be in the red zone, inside the red zone already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I can see that happening. So yeah, I think we can all agree we'll probably get Dallas out of the way. And then week 14, we have the Cleveland Browns again, but this time in Cleveland. That's also a primetime game on a Monday night. So it's just primetime game after primetime game after primetime game. I love it.
I hate
love
it. I hate it.
I'm not-
We haven't won in
I-
primetime this year.
We haven't, not yet. And we've had a lot of opportunities to. You know, the NFL wanted to see us a lot this year because of what we did last year.
Yeah.
It's kind of embarrassing so far because we haven't been able to, you know, perform to the standard that we're used to. But Cleveland on Monday night in Cleveland, do you have us winning that game, or what do you think about that game? It's probably our toughest game on the rest of our schedule.
I'll tell you this: if the Browns beat the Titans this week, no chance. Because
Yeah.
their confidence is going to be sky high. Jarvis is breaking out. He had a great game last week.
Yeah.
I can't see it. So if we win and they lose, maybe, because if we win that game, I think we would be tied with the same record because they're 8-3. They'd be 8. Yeah. So we'd be tied. So that's even bigger now if they lose this week and we win.
Hey, wait, and who do they play this week again?
Titans.
The Titans. Okay, yeah. So we're definitely rooting for King Henry and the Titans, like we said. Go Titans, for sure.
Go AJ Brown. AJ Brown, please. My fantasy team. We need you.
Absolutely.
So I'll go with this. If we win and they lose, we'll take it. If we win and they win, they're going to take it. Simple as that.
Okay. I think that our biggest key to victory going forward, I mean, Dallas and Cleveland both have, you know, really good running backs. If we can have Big Baby and Calais Campbell back, I think we'll be fine. We'll win both of those games.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just that I'll say right, that Chubb and Kareem Hunt is the best running back duo in the league.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just crazy how good it is. And if they stick on the run, they can be a threat in the future. So, I mean, I'm not sold on Baker, but I'm sold on that run game.
Okay, let's see. KLA Sports, he says, for Cleveland, we need to pressure Baker and stop Myles Garrett. The secondary is not too strong, so we need to pass on them, and the defense needs to load the box and stop the run.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
we
sounds
stopped
like a
them in
pretty
week
good
1.
plan.
We stopped them in week 1.
We did.
Queen stripped Nick Chubb. I
Mhm.
mean, we've done it before. Why not do it again? But like you said, we need everybody back.
We definitely need to be healthy on especially the defensive side of the football if we want a chance at beating the Cleveland Browns. But let's see. So moving forward from that, we have Jacksonville at home after that. I think that's a W.
Calais and Ngakoue revenge game.
Oh, yeah.
I expect a big game from them. So
We're talking over under 4 sacks. I'm taking the over on that.
over under 6 sacks.
Ooh. I think I might hold at 6 for that.
Okay. Because we had a
But,
game a few years back, we had like 10 or 11 sacks against the Titans. So we can definitely get to the quarterback. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, well, that's it. We'll see. We'll see who steps up in that game. But I definitely have us, getting the W there. Then we have the Giants, who have been a little bit, on a roll lately. They've won 3 in a row. But
Danny
I think it's gonna be-
Dimes is hurt. I
He
mean, I don't
is
know.
hurt.
He'll probably be back for that game.
mm-hmm. I just think it'll be a tough day at the office for Daniel Jones. The Wing
Yeah,
Martindale defense might be a little bit too much for him.
it will. And if Saquon was playing, yeah, it would be I think harder about it. But the NFC East is the best team for me in the NFC East is the Washington football team right now. They look like the
Yeah,
scariest team. I'm happy we got them out the way because that front four, that running game, Alex Smith is getting in his groove. Scary Terry's doing his thing.
this
They
is
look
true.
good. I think they're going to
These
win
are
the
all
NFC East.
facts.
That's my pick.
I hope so. I really hope. I root for the Washington football team. I have nothing against them at all, and technically, it is like the home team where I'm from. So yeah, shout out to Washington. But let's see here. And then we have Cincinnati to end the season in Cincinnati. I think that
Yeah.
a Burrowless Cincinnati. I think we can definitely take care of pretty handily. What do you think, though?
Took the words out of my mouth. If Joe Burrow was playing, I'd be much, 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 much scared about it. But or very,
Yeah,
I can't even speak right now. But you took the words out of my mouth. Basically, I just can't see them doing anything against us. But we are Bengals fans this week. We are Jeff Driscoll fans this week. We need them to beat the Dolphins. So make sure
absolutely.
you pull out your Chad Ochocinco jerseys because we need something to happen this week.
Yeah, we need some big time help. So let's take a look at the actual playoff picture now. Now that we're done with the schedule, just wrapping up the schedule talk. I think that we could definitely pull off 11-5, but our two most difficult games that we have, remaining on the schedule are the two next games.
Yeah,
So Dallas and then Cleveland. As long as we can, stifle those running games and make their quarterbacks make mistakes like they tend to do, I think we'll be fine. And then Jacksonville, New York, and Cincinnati, I think we should be able to kind of handle those teams. At least I think. There's no givens this year at all,
so
but I think we should be able to handle those teams. And at 11-5, of course, we'll still need some help. Isn't that crazy though that we're gonna go if we went out, we'll be 11-5, and we still won't be a lock for the playoffs.
that's crazy. I mean, I look at the NFC and they have teams that are at 6-5 and they're in. I mean, the Rams are in. A few
Yeah,
another team is too. And the NFC East, we're going to see the second team with a losing record make the playoffs. The other team
yeah,
was the 7-9 Seahawks when Marshawn Lynch had the beast quake against the Saints. But they're not going to be 500 or better. There's just that division, and I don't know how they get so many primetime games.
yeah.
That division, I just don't get it. I watch the Eagles way too much. Like, why are they on prime team all the time?
I don't know. That's a very good question. Yeah, prime time. The NFL loves the Eagles on prime time for whatever reason. I think they're still trying to believe in Carson Wentz. Speaking of Carson Wentz, just touch on this real quick. We talked about on our last episode when we were discussing, the Monday Night Football game. What would happen if Carson Wentz didn't, really perform? And he really didn't. There was times where he was missing throws. He was late on throws, this and that. So, what do you? And I don't even really want to get into this. Like I said before,
Let me make it quick, real quick.
Jalen Hurts, man. I think that he's on his way in. He's on his way in. Carson Wentz has only a couple more games until the leash is going to be snapped, and then they're just going to say, "Go ahead and just put Jalen Hurts in."
Yeah, you can't argue with that. I mean, just Wentz, I get it. His line is decimated, and Doug
Yeah,
Peterson doesn't help him out with the calls. Doug Peterson give up the play calling. I'm not even an Eagles fan. I just don't get. Sometimes head coaches they'll get their hand in the play calling, and it's just too much. I look at the Rams. Sean McVay was calling plays, but he's slowly let that go, and they're successful still. Like, just let it go. Stop trying to take
yeah,
over everything. Just let it go.
yeah. But just moving on from that, though, let's just take a look at the 2020 NFL playoff picture, so you guys can see here what it's looking like so far. In the AFC, which is our conference, we got the Steelers in first, of course, at 11-0. They play the Washington football team next, which a lot of people think could be a trap game for the Steelers.
Gotta agree. They had a
Yeah,
great. Their 1-2 running tandem is. I like that.
yeah,
I do. I mean, they're better than a 4-7 team right now, to be honest.
they really
Just
are
Chase Young and Montez Sweat are they're monsters.
monsters, man. So let's see. The Steelers at number one. Then we got the Chiefs at number two at 10-1. The Chiefs, listen, man, I know they're not undefeated. They had that loss to the Raiders earlier in the season, but they're the best team in football, period. So the Chiefs number two, Titans at number three. Their next matchup against the Browns. We need the Titans to, like you said, win the AFC South. in order for us to have a chance here. Let's see. Then we have the Bills at number 4, playing against the 49ers next. We have the Browns at number 5, playing against the Titans. The Dolphins at the 6th seed, playing against the Bengals next. And then at the new 7th seed that they have in the playoffs, the Colts. And that's the spot that we need to take from them.
Now, remind you, if we win yesterday, we'll be the 7th seed.
This
But,
is true.
Colts Texans that's a division game. So I'm a Deshaun Watson fan again this weekend. Let's hope he just does his thing without Will Fuller.
Yeah.
That's going to be hard. I feel bad because he's just been getting his weapons taken away from him. First, Kenny Stills, released, who's still a free agent. Will Fuller gets suspended. He's stuck with Brandon Cooks, Kiki Kuti, Darren Fells, I believe that's their tight end.
Yeah.
I think David Johnson comes back this week, so we get somebody back. But I'm rooting for him. We need him.
Yep. So we are definitely rooting for the Texans and the Titans this week. That is for sure. Also the Bengals too. We got to get, Miami some more losses.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then you see us down here on the bubble in the hunt. You know what they say. The Raiders at number 8, us at number 9. And we play the Cowboys next.
Don't forget the Patriots too, man. Because that's just they aren't good. Cam Newton is not good. It's just they have great coaching, and the fact they beat I believe wholeheartedly they exposed the Cardinals last week. Cliff Kingsbury just got absolutely outcoached.
Yeah.
That's just so we just got to keep winning. I mean, the Raiders last week they proved to me that they aren't the real deal, losing 43-6 to the Atlanta Falcons of all teams.
Yeah.
And then again, we aren't the real deal either until we win games. So I'm not saying the Ravens are the real deal. I'm just calling other teams as a neutral.
Yeah, the Ravens have lost 3 straight games. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, it's taking me back to 2015 and the pain.
Yeah, pain, anguish, suffering. So yeah, that is the playoff picture as it stands right now. Obviously, we need to win out if we want a chance at making the playoffs, and we also are going to need some help too. So, put on your Titans jerseys, like I said, and
Bengals
put on
jerseys,
your Bengals jerseys,
Deshaun Watson jersey,
Texans, all that stuff, man. We need the help from those teams.
Put in your Justin Herbert jersey too, because we're rooting for them against the Patriots. So why not see
True.
Herbert light it up not only for us but for your fantasy team as well?
Yeah, go ahead, Herbert, and we'll get to fantasy in just a little bit here. So remember, get your fantasy questions ready because playoff time is right around the corner. Let's see. What do we got? What are we talking about in the chat, guys?
Any questions? Drop them questions. NFL questions. Heck, you know
NFL
what?
questions.
While we're looking for questions, I know I'm not a big NBA fan, but one of my favorite players got traded a few days ago. That would be Russell Westbrook. I actually just had to pack his jersey up. I have his Rockets jersey. That hurts. He got sent to the Wizards, and then John Wall in a first back to the Rockets. I mean, that doesn't affect me. That's pretty big news, I'd say.
Oh, it's definitely really big news. I mean, John Wall is like a staple of the Washington Wizards. It seems like now, and it's like weird to see him go and be on the Rockets.
Him and James Harden though, they might do their thing.
They may, but I just don't see. There's not enough shooting from John Wall in order for that to really work out like I think they're thinking it should. But also LeBron James just signed an extension today with the Lakers.
Didn't Anthony Davis too? I'm pretty sure.
Anthony Davis did as well. So the Lakers are looking like they could be primed to make another championship run. But
for everybody in there, I'm a Bulls fan. I mean, they're the best right now, but I keep up with NBA, so it's pretty cool to see just the other news happening outside of NFL. Like just with the NFL this past year, there's been so much news. It's kind of overtaken every other league out there. So
yeah, this is true. So let's see. Looks like Louis Healy, you might have just got here. He says we're gonna start Trace ? That is a no. If Lamar does not play against the Cowboys, which we expect him to play, I think that Trace would start. I think he should start if Lamar doesn't play. But if Lamar, comes back, which we think he is, Trace will be back on the bench. But KLA Sports says, who do y'all want the Ravens to draft? I know we talked about this the other day. O lineman is something that we definitely need to draft early. We just need to start repairing that O line as much as possible. Protect Lamar, because without the protection for Lamar, nothing else will follow. And we've seen that this year, losing Marshall Yonda, losing Ronnie Stanley, and then having issues at center, that sort of thing. We need our line bolstered. So I think we should definitely draft the O line.
I agree with you there, and definitely another tight end because bringing back the 3 tight end sets, Boyle, Andrews, and somebody else, a blocking tight end will be preferred.
Yeah.
No running back. Please don't draft a running back. We don't need one. We have Gus and J.K. and Justice Hill now. I feel like we're going to draft a receiver. I feel like Costa's going to be forced into, unless we sign somebody. Allen Robinson, please. But we always draft a corner. It seems like in the draft. But I think O lineman is the smartest pick and the best pick for sure.
Definitely the smartest pick for sure. What we need. Let's see. Pikmin Vita says Trace McSorley should be a backup. What's up, Pikmin? Haven't seen you around these parts, man. How
Welcome
you doing,
to the
man?
stream.
Welcome to the show. He also says, do you think the Patriots might go for Trace? That's interesting because I could see them, making a move like that, picking up a Trace McSorley, putting him on the bench, maybe getting them some reps. Because I don't know if Jarrett Stidham is their guy,
That's true.
behind Cam Newton.
I don't think they would trade for him. I mean, if we ever cut him, I definitely think they would take a look, but I don't think they'll trade for him.
Yeah. Probably right about that. Turbo says, stop with the Trace talk.
He's the GOAT.
He's heard enough.
He's the GOAT. Respect
Man, everybody just wanted to see Trace McSorley do well, and he had a touchdown yesterday, so come on, man. Just let him have his moment. Throw it on a dime.
Like he's not even trying.
See. Exactly. Falou says, who do you think we can replace for Greg Roman? I think we talked about this on the other stream, didn't we?
I mean, if we could, have one Christmas gift wish, it would be Eric Bieniemy. But he's only going to want head coaching.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know Jim Caldwell's out there, but I'm not too sure. I mean, Jim Caldwell did win the Super Bowl with us in 2012, but I'm not sure if he's ever worked with mobile quarterbacks. Maybe even our QB coach, James Urban. I'm not too sure if he knows how to run offense. But at this point, I'm kind of just cool with anybody but Greg Roman. I don't know how you feel about that. I'm just kind of sick of seeing this offense.
Yeah, man. It has not been good. Let's see what we've got here. Russian must increase. Receiver OO. Zayking56 says all of these games are traps. I guess our remaining schedule games. I haven't forgotten going to England and getting bodied by Jacksonville. Oh, I remember that. That was terrible. But I do expect Yannick Ngakoue and Calais Campbell to go off. That being said, aggression must increase. Wide receiver or O-line? I think O-line is definitely where we need to 100%. Go ahead and invest our money into. Wide receiver, listen, Kenny Galladay, Allen Robinson, Kenny Stills, those guys are out there. If we want to get one, let's go ahead and do that. But I don't see us drafting wide receiver anytime soon. Let's see. Keeping It Real says, I'm so tired of Greg Roman. Aren't we all are, bro?
We all are. He's like the new version of Mark Trestman, or Marty Morningwing. Just get rid of him already. I just feel he's like Harbaugh is just so loyal to his coordinator. Just cut it. Get him out of
here. Yeah. And I mean, it goes back to my point I was making, I think, the episode before that. Do you think Harbaugh is getting soft? Do you think he's a little soft?
And whiny, 100%. I get why other teams don't like him as a coach. I really understand. I'm like, bro, stop complaining and do something. Do it. Yeah. Stop just complaining. If you want to see change, be the change.
Yeah. Louis C. Lee says teams are scheming us and Roman doesn't want to change. And that's the problem, man.
If I could pin that, I would. Because that's the words out of my mouth.
Yeah. That's absolutely true. Absolutely true. Let's see. Can't be as bad. Jim Caldwell can't be as bad as Roman. Let's see.
When we had Jim Caldwell, he was utilizing Anquan Bolden like crazy. Wow, we have a veteran receiver who has a big body. I wonder if we could use him the same. by the name of Des
Yeah.
Bryant. It can't hurt.
Can't hurt. I don't know. But let's see. KLA Sports says, I wouldn't mind Matt Nagy or giving Adam Gase a shot at offensive coordinator. Gase did well with a talented offense as a coordinator. Where was he OC at?
I know he was a coach with the Dolphins. That's when Tannehill was there. Let me see where he was at. Adam Gase has just left a. He's calling the plays with the Jets right now. That's my thing.
Yeah, and the Jets are really bad.
Okay, so he was with the Broncos and he won the Super Bowl. He reached the Super Bowl with them.
Okay, yeah. KLA says
I don't know if I. I don't know. I'm gonna have to pass on that one. I just can't have it.
Yeah, Peyton Manning on that team. You know, I don't know about Gase, man. I feel like there's probably some better options out there. But yeah, I think we definitely need to make a move soon and very soon. Like I was saying earlier in the show, if we miss the playoffs, then hey, Roman's got to go. Somebody's got to go, and I think that somebody's got to be Greg Roman. You know, because time and time again, you watch this offense. It's like, what is it? We're in week 12 or 13 now?
13.
So we're in week 13. Ever since like week 4, I think it was around like week 4 when we played the Chiefs is when we realized as Ravens fans that okay, this year is not the same as last year offensively.
Yeah.
And week to week, ever since what week did we play the Chiefs? Week 3.
Week 3.
Yeah. So ever since
that's
week
when the pain
3
started happening.
That's when the pain started happening, and like just week to week. So from week 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8, 9 to 10, like all of that, we were expecting the offense to get better and better and to forge that new identity, but they really have not. So if we go into, if we finish the rest of the season, we don't make the playoffs and the offense does not look good towards the end of the season, G-Ro's got to go. And that's just what it is.
And even thinking about our wins since then, we've beaten the Browns, the Texans, the Bengals, the Colts. Who else do we beat? The Eagles and Washington. So even in the Bengals game, we won 27-3. We had a fumble return for a touchdown. Queen forced fumble on Burrow. We had a pick from Marcus Peters. In the Colts game, we had the pick from Marcus Peters, and then we had the fumble return for a touchdown. So in our most recent wins, our defense has carried us. And even in the Eagles game, our offense didn't look that good. It was just Lamar, and in the game against Washington, he had them long touchdown runs, which saved him. So in our wins, the offense, barring week 1 and 2, hasn't done anything.
Yeah, and to your point there, our defense actually carried us yesterday too for the majority of the game, because that game should not have been that close. They were 1 for 4 in the red zone. The Steelers were, an
11-0 team. You expect to be 4 for 4. Put up 28 points, all touchdowns. With the receivers they have, with the quarterback they have, you would think. But once again, if we could give a game ball to every player on the defense, they deserve it.
Absolutely. Let's see. So our guy Falou, he says, do you think we should get new wide receiver developers because we don't get much success with the ones we have now? Yeah, and I totally agree with that. I think that you got to look at an organization like the Steelers. Why have they been able to develop all of their wide receivers for the most part, but we just have not? It all has to make sense at some point. We have to get guys in there who are developing our wide receivers the right way, because obviously we really have not had that, because we have not had like a breakout receiver that we drafted. Let's see. Our guy Turbro, he says John Harbaugh does seem like a soft head coach to me.
Because he is.
Yeah. It's kind of seeming like it, Like, I don't see how you can let Greg Roman call all the plays and you see them consistently time and time again not working, and we literally have to scratch and fight for every yard first down like we didn't have to do last year. Shouldn't be that hard, man. We should be able to get yards, get first downs.
I want to bring up something, too. Whenever we play the Chiefs, he plays super soft. I don't care if he used to work for Andy Reid, beat him. You're not working under him now. Beat him. And we just don't look like the Ravens whenever we play the Chiefs. Nope. And when we beat them in the 2011 playoffs, I don't think Reid was there yet. So I'm like, I just don't get it. Like, going with the point, he is soft. Be hard. Yeah. I don't care who is on the other side. Beat them. I don't care if you beat your brother twice. You did obviously didn't care then. What has
Right.
changed?
Yeah, man. You gotta punch these teams in the mouth, man. You cannot let them hang around. You cannot you just gotta punch them in the mouth. That's all it is. And you know who does do that? Guys like Mike Tomlin, guys like Andy Reid, guys like Mike Vrabel. They do that.
Sean
You know what
McDermott
I
from the
mean?
Bills. They will.
Yeah, they'll punch you in the mouth. And let's see. Uh, let's see if they should have fought the Steelers for. Turbo says if they really wanted to win, they should have fought the Steelers for purposely laying on them, causing the quarter to end like, what the heck? We could have scored.
Yep.
Uh, that
Push them
also
up.
goes on, push them off, like get back to the line. So, with that being said, I think that since we're about an hour and 11 minutes in, at this point, if you haven't already, go ahead like the video. If you haven't already, also subscribe to our channel. New Ravens content every Monday, every Thursday. We've got some special surprises coming up for you guys in the future. So go
Be
ahead
on the
and
lookout.
subscribe. Be on the
Be on the
lookout.
lookout.
Let's see here. So, you want to talk some fantasy, bro?
Yeah, while we're talking fantasy, you can ask us any question. It doesn't have to be football. Like if you want to know anything about us, I say, or if
Yeah.
why we like who we like, why
Yeah.
we do this, ask us. We're more than sports here.
Ask us anything. We are literally an open book.
Yeah. So fantasy. You want to start off your team this week?
Yeah. No, actually, we can start off with your team because we started
Okay.
off with mine before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
By the way, drop all your fantasy questions down in the chat. We're going to be getting to some
playoffs
fantasy
this
advice.
week, and we're getting into the crunch time.
Playoffs.
Because I'm going to
Crunch
need your
time.
guys' help this week because I am facing some dilemmas. So, if I can set the scene right here, I was 2-4. I am now
Okay.
8-4. I have won every game since.
Mm.
I won this past week 139.48 to 137.7. I was up
Nice.
20
Okay.
points. I was up 20 points. He had Tyler Lockett, Dallas Goedert, and Aaron Jones left. I'm like, I am dead meat. I am done. Aaron Jones is going to put 50 points, Lockett 50 points. I'm done. I won. So this upcoming week, I don't know whether to start Kenyon Drake or Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And then I can start either one of them, but do I also start Jarvis Landry? Because he just had a big game, and the Titans don't have that good of a secondary. So I'm not too sure.
Man, I'd probably go with. You said Kenyon Drake, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, or who?
Yeah. So or Jarvis Landry because I have
Jarvis.
James Robinson as my running back 1, and I have Kenyon Drake and Clyde Edwards-Helaire for running back 2, or I can put both of them in and have one in the flex.
I'd probably go with See, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's just been underperforming. He's been very, very disappointing for the most part. But in this game, going up against the Broncos, I'm probably going to start Clyde Edwards-Helaire over Kenyon Drake, who plays the Rams this week. So, yeah, I'd probably go with Clyde.
Okay. And then Jarvis in the flex?
Jarvis in the flex. I think that's a solid start.
Because every time I started Kenyon Drake, he did nothing. And then when I benched him, he does something.
You know how it goes.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, then I have picking up what defense. I put in a claim for them because I have the Saints defense, but they play the Falcons. Picking up the... Oh, no, I'm not. I'm picking up a kicker because I dropped Michael Badgley. I'm picking up the kicker from the Bills, Tyler Bass. So, why not?
Okay.
I mean,
make some moves.
If I win, I'm in the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
So this would be like a remarkable comeback because I literally was 2-4, and I would be 9-4 on a 7-game winning. Let's just hope I don't pull Ravens and go in the first round and lose.
Right. That hurts the most. In fantasy, that hurts really bad. Getting, going one and done in the playoffs, that sucks.
Yeah, it does. I need Josh Allen to
see.
ball out this week.
All right, so just real quick, KLA Sports has a fantasy question for us. He says, do I bench Amari Cooper for Christian Kirk or Tyler Boyd, or start Boyd and Kirk in the flex?
Ooh. Okay. Cooper's playing the Ravens. You watched the game yesterday. What wide receiver had a big game? It was very minimal.
Yeah.
Juju had 8 for 37 and a touchdown, which that's good fantasy numbers. But you take the touchdown away,
yeah,
that's an average game. So I don't know because I would start Kirk because we talked about it. DeAndre Hopkins is getting double teams.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think, and Kyler is a full participant back in practice. He'll be healthy. I go Kirk and Boyd because they play the Dolphins, and Kirk and Boyd.
Kirk and
That's my
Boyd.
pick.
Oh, yeah, I think I'd probably go with Kirk and Boyd as well. To your point, like you said, D Hop is getting honed in on a lot by defenses right now. So Christian Kirk is getting more opportunities. Same thing with Andy Isabella, but Kirk is the clear second option for Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
But let's see, and then Tyler Boyd. I said Tyler Boyd. He's I don't know about Tyler Boyd right now, man. Without Burrow,
You're right,
not feeling it. Not
but
feeling it.
I think T Higgins is above him now. So I think Boyd's getting more on like the cornerback 3 and 4. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Let me pull up his stats. Let me see what he's done. Let me check that real quick.
Yeah, like I mean, KLA Sports. He said Boyd had 4 points, and the
Yeah.
Bengals don't have Burrow. Man, it's just I'm
Oh,
selling all my stock on those guys on Bengals
let me
receivers.
let me check. Let me check Cooper because it might be Cooper and Kirk. I might have to
Yeah,
take that back real quick.
yeah, I would go Cooper and Kirk
You know
because
what?
Cooper's gonna get the
Cooper
volume.
Cooper's only had 2 big games this year against the Giants and the Eagles. Played Pittsburgh 12.5 in my league. I mean, he had 20. You know what? I go Cooper. I mean, he might get the catches. So I don't know if you're in a PPR. So just hope for like
Yeah,
7 catches for like 50 some yards, and he'll get average points.
because this is fantasy football, and what you're chasing the most is volume. He's
Yeah,
gonna get the ball thrown his way, so why not start him? Even if he doesn't get 1 or 2 touchdowns or whatever, he may get 8 to 10 targets. And as a fantasy player, you gotta live with 8 to 10 targets. For your wide receivers, especially if you're in a PPR league, half PPR, full PPR, doesn't matter. If they're getting targets, like if the quarterback is looking their way, you want to start that player.
100%.
So I would definitely go with
100%.
Christian Kirk and Amari Cooper on that. So let's see. Our guy CJ says, do I pick Kyler or Cam Newton or Lamar Jackson or get Lamar and Kyler?
Do you have a
So
2 quarterback league?
yeah, I'm thinking this must be a
Okay.
2 QB league.
I go Kyler and Lamar. I just
Mm,
I can't see Cam because Cam isn't a fantasy quarterback that I would
yeah.
play.
Yeah, you're most likely going to get more rushing yards with Kyler Murray and Lamar Jackson. And rushing yards from a quarterback in fantasy football makes all the difference. That's why Lamar
Yeah.
Jackson was the #1 fantasy football player, period, last year, because he was just so electrifying with his arm and then also on the ground as well. So I definitely think that Lamar and Kyler is the best way to go there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. So, KLA Sports also says DeAndre Swift or Miles Sanders. You know what, man? I'ma honestly go with DeAndre Swift, and I know he's been hurt recently, and AP's kind of been filling his shoes. But when Swift comes back, and before he got hurt, he was the lead back in
Yeah.
Detroit. So I think that when he comes back, he'll probably take that throne back from Adrian Peterson. And then he said, like, Miles Sanders, everybody watched Miles Sanders play on Monday against who did they play on Monday? The Eagles.
Seahawks.
Seattle, that's right. And he just Miles Sanders really didn't look like he was giving me too much. So I'd probably go with DeAndre Swift. Yeah, what do you think though?
Agree with you 100%. The Eagles don't utilize Miles Sanders. Simple as that. They can get so much more out of him. That's what I'm talking about. The Doug Peterson just gave up the play calling. So I go DeAndre Swift,
Yeah.
100%.
All right, so real quick, we're going to touch on Elliot's comment here. He has a question. He says, do y'all think Eric Bieniemy should be the head coach for Baltimore? Whew, that
As much as I
is
don't like Harbaugh, I don't think they won't. If we miss the playoffs, I don't think we'll get rid of him.
no. I don't.
And even
We're
if
definitely
we
not
got
going to
rid
get
of
rid
him,
of Harbaugh.
I'd say put Wink at head coach. I mean, I just don't want to lose him because he
Mhm.
has a defense. Like the defense, that's his family. Like they all
Yeah,
respect him no matter what. And I don't think Harbaugh gets that respect that Wink. I think Wink has more respect from the defense than Harbaugh does.
yeah,
100%.
yeah. So let's see. We also have CJ ask Derrick Henry or Nick Chubb. I'm going Derrick Henry all the way through
King
and through,
Henry
man. You're gonna go Derrick
easily.
Henry no matter what.
Why not both? You could start
Yeah,
them
why
both.
not? I was about to say, who do you have that you're debating on
That's
who to start between Henry or Chubb? Like,
gotta put both of them in there.
you must have like Dalvin Cook or like I don't know who else you have on your team, but Derrick Henry or Chubb, I'm definitely going Derrick Henry. And listen, man, Nick Chubb, he splits carries with Kareem Hunt, and that carry share is definitely going to be a little bit more even than the one between Derrick Henry and McNichols, their backup running back. So I'm definitely going Derrick Henry on that one.
Were there
Let's
any
see.
questions in there for us? Just non football by any chance, or just non like
I didn't
fantasy? You
see
know.
any non-football, non-fantasy questions in here. Like we said, guys, if you have any questions about anything else, any other sport or just life, anything about us, you can ask us that as well. This is the Purple Rain Podcast, episode 7. Make sure you like and subscribe as well. Let's see. Oh, our guy Rush Bob. He says
Oh,
Dobbins or Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Based off of what we have seen.
you know what? I think I'm gonna go Dobbins because
Really?
in the last when everybody's there, Dobbins gets the most carries. If I'm going back to the Titans game, we were just giving him the ball. If he's back, I think he'll get the most carries because they're giving the ball more to Le'Veon, and they don't even run that much in Kansas City. Because I have
No.
Clyde, and I was
Yeah.
watching the game, they were just passing him. So I'm gonna go Dobbins.
Go Dobbins. Uh, I mean, I would go Dobbins, but the thing about Dobbins is that he's not getting into the end zone unless it's like, he breaks off like a 20-yard run from the
Yeah,
20-yard line. And the goal line work, it mainly goes to Gus Edwards. We all know that. So,
watch him do Mark Ingram this week.
they could do Mark Ingram. So I'm going Clyde Edwards-Helaire, honestly. He's just going to get more opportunities. That backfield is not nearly as crowded as the one in Baltimore. So I'm going Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So let's see. So we got a couple questions here for running back. Should I do Dobbins or David Johnson?
See,
David
that's the same
Johnson's coming
thing.
back.
Yeah, I would because they have Duke Johnson too. So if David Johnson's not looking good, just throwing Duke
Duke and
Johnson.
David.
Yeah, Duke Johnson.
Let's see.
I think Dobbins for that to be safer.
I'd probably go Dobbins as well. Both of them have really bad floors, really low floors. So just beware, But Dobbins, I feel like he could get a touchdown. He might be, you never know. Dobbins is the type of running back where he could break off 2 touchdowns, in a
Right?
game. And
Right.
it'll just be off the most random thing. 2 touchdowns for Dobbins. But I mean, yeah, like I said, I'm going Dobbins over David Johnson. Turbro says, do you guys live in Baltimore? I do not. I actually live in Southern Maryland, probably about an hour away from Baltimore.
I live close to Baltimore. I go to Towson University. I live about like 15, 20 minutes away from Baltimore, but I've been born and raised here my whole life. You can tell with all the pictures.
Okay. Let's see.
It kind of sucks for like being like doing Raven stuff online. People automatically think you're a bandwagon because it's the
Yeah,
Ravens, but it's like, bro, born and raised.
been at this for a long time,
Right.
very long time. Fatal Storm says he asked, "What is our
Oh,
favorite player?
oh.
Favorite player in football?" I would
See,
probably say, I mean, it's got to be Lamar Jackson for me.
for me, either Gus Edwards or LJ Fort.
Mm,
Because those guys, they've shown love to my channel, like personally, and a lot of other players have too.
yeah,
But I'm gonna go with that for me. In the NFL, I love Cooper Cup. Love, love,
Cooper Cup.
love Cooper Cup.
He's good. He's definitely very good. Yards after the catch, he's a monster.
Yeah.
Let's see. So yeah, Lamar for me, Cooper Cup for Simply. Next question is favorite soccer team.
Oh, oh, Arsenal, 100%. It's pain. I go through it year in and year out, but
Yeah,
Arsenal for me.
yeah. For me, it's always and always will be Man U. But that's just me though. I mean, I've been rocking with them for a while now. Ever since I was in college, just been a fan of that squad.
I'm glad somebody brought up soccer though, because like
Yeah.
that was like my favorite sport for a while until I started YouTube. When I did
Okay.
YouTube, football took over.
Okay. Yeah. Football. I mean, man, football is just a great sport, man. I love football so much. But KLA Sports says simply, what do you think of the Bulls draft pick?
I don't keep up with basketball that much. I'm like, it's whatever. I mean, if it was best player available, I'm cool with it. But I'm a huge fan of Lauren Markkinen. So I'm hoping Markkinen and then Wendell Carter and Zach Levine can like be their own big three.
Yeah.
But like the last time the Bulls were good was when I went to a game in like 2016 when they had everybody. Now, like I
Yeah.
saw Derrick Rose play, so I was happy. Went to Chicago, I saw Jimmy Butler play. I was so happy, and then it just fell apart. That's why I'm kind of just numb to the pain at this point. The Ravens help out with it too.
Yeah. Shout out to Derrick Rose, by the way. Um, Also, the Bulls. I was just looking it up here. They drafted at number 4 overall. They drafted Patrick Williams, a forward
Yeah.
out of Florida State. So
He averaged
you
like
know,
under 10 points his whole like college career, which is like the big knock on him. So I'm like, you know what? I don't know too much about basketball. Go ahead. If that's what they want to do, it's not going to affect
yeah,
me.
yeah. I mean, the Bulls. They definitely have some work to do over there. It's probably be a couple years until they're really competitive again. Um,
Unfortunately.
but let's see here. Our guy ZKing56. He says favorite history basketball player.
Ooh. For me, it's either Derrick Rose or Jimmy Butler. Um, but slowly right now, Tyler Herro is like building on me. Love
Yeah, he's
that.
he's he's good. I mean, we're talking about historic. Kobe Bryant, rest
Yeah,
in peace his
yeah.
soul. Kobe Bryant, man, he's probably my favorite basketball player of all time. Over Jordan, over any other guy. I think he was just the most soundly skilled player, like skilledly sound player like that ever existed. Like he was just so smooth and like everything he did, he was so methodical in all his moves. I would literally like be, outside like playing basketball, trying to like replicate his moves as a kid, just because they were
Yeah.
so fluid and they just worked, and he was just beautiful to watch like on the floor, on the basketball floor. So I'm definitely going to have to go with Kobe Bryant for that.
Also for me, also Dennis Rodman too. Just how crazy he was. Love that. There has
Yeah,
to be like I need a
a lot of energy.
documentary, like a full like 3 hour documentary on him. Like he was just so crazy. And also
Yeah,
like speaking of Kobe, like being in school and just yelling
yeah,
Kobe,
yeah,
you get in trouble for it, but it's just such a staple, and I really hope like that tradition just lives on because it will
yeah. Me
forever
too,
be Kobe just yelling the paper balls in the trash can.
man. Shout out to Kobe, man. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. 2020's been a crazy year, hasn't it?
That feels like that was on the day of the Pro Bowl. I remember that
It
because
was,
I didn't even watch the Pro Bowl. I was just so sick of football with the Ravens losing.
bro. Yeah,
But
yeah,
I was like, because I went on Instagram and I saw it. I'm like, there's no way this is fake. So I go on
yeah,
Twitter. I'm like, okay, this is real. I just didn't believe it. It kind of like took a few days to kind of kick in, and still doesn't feel real.
yeah, man. I was like at work when that whole news dropped, and like somebody at work had told me, "Hey, did you hear about Kobe Bryant? Like apparently he like passed, like he died." And I was like, "What? Come on, Kobe Bryant? What? It's Kobe Bryant. What are
Yeah,
you talking about?" But then like I saw TMZ tweeted, and like it became so real, and I was just like, bro, that had me down for like the entire week after that. And I
yeah.
remember like that was the day of the Pro Bowl, so it was on a Sunday. That whole week I was down, man. But like we said, R.I.P. Kobe. But moving on here, our guy Falou says, "Did you like how Hollywood did not slide after he caught the ball? Instead, he adjusted and used his speed to get into the end zone."
Are we
And
talking about
yeah,
is that Marquise
his
Brown, right?
yeah,
Okay, cool,
Marquise,
cool, cool. Marquise Brown. Okay.
Marquise.
I mean, I did like that, but there was a play where he should have dove for a ball. I don't know if you know what I'm
Hmm.
talking about. He RG2 threw it and he kind of went for a one hand.
Yeah,
He could have
one-handed
tried to
grab.
dive. Yeah, he could have
Yeah,
tried to dive for it, in my opinion.
I think
But
it might have been what Jamison Hensley or somebody who was like he tweeted like I don't know why Hollywood didn't lay out for that catch, and I was thinking same thing, man. Like, come on, you got to
it's
go get
Ravens
that.
Steelers. Come on.
Yeah, come
I don't
on.
care what quarter it is.
Torrey Smith goes and gets that ball.
100%.
You know,
100%. But there was plays where he just was kind of like trying to juke, which that's what we have. Don't go down.
yeah,
Please just stop doing that, or just stop trying to like go back and then you get caught up for a loss of yards. Go back and try to get some more yards. If
yeah.
you get hit, look, Trace McSorley got hit by a safety and he got right back up. As long as the helmet, I mean, he should be good. The
I think
pads are for.
Hollywood's scared to get hit,
Yeah, I think he is.
which is not a good sign. But hopefully he develops, out of that. Let's see here. Fatal Storm Clad. So he says should the Ravens draft Jamar Chase? I think I see us drafting O lineman. Like
Has
we
to
said,
be.
man, it's got to
Has to
be O
be.
line. I don't think we're gonna be able to get a Jamar Chase in the draft.
I
Is
feel
also
like
happening.
right now it's fresh in our mind. LSU receiver, we're thinking Justin Jefferson, but would
Yeah,
he fit in our offense? I don't think
probably
he would.
not.
I don't think
Honestly,
he would.
honestly,
What
man.
I'm looking
But
forward to though is the bowl games coming on. Nothing better than watching a bowl game on a December cold night while it's snowing outside. Best thing to
oh
do.
yeah, yeah. I love bowl games. That's like it's the only time I really, really watch college football. I
Yeah,
don't really watch it too much during the season, honestly. Um,
it's
let's
weird to
see.
think about like last year this time. Like the Ravens run their big run. You have Joe Burrow laying it up, and then you have then we had the Super Bowl. That was fun, which the Ravens were in it, but just things changed a lot in a year.
Absolutely,
We need to go
absolutely.
back to that. I miss that so much.
Yeah. Let's see. Noel says, "Great podcast, guys. Y'all are doing great. We appreciate that."
Appreciate that.
Turbro says, "What are your thoughts on Nate Robinson?" We talked about this on Monday.
Oh
Uh,
man,
mm,
wasn't good.
Nate Robinson,
Wasn't
he should have definitely studied the tape on Logan Paul or Jake Paul,
whatever it
uh,
was.
one of those guys. He should have definitely studied the tape because he can fight, but Nate Robinson cannot fight, and that was put on full display last Saturday. Let's see, it was bad. Nate
I'm hearing Snoop
Robinson.
Dogg in my mind right now. Please. We need more Snoop Dogg commentary.
Yeah, let's see. Jalil Scott or Miles Boykin, Zay King 56.
I think we cut Jaleel Scott. Yeah, we cut him.
We did. I think I remember that. But Boykin, as long as he's blocking, if Boykin didn't block, he'd have been gone. But
And special teams. That
special
too.
teams too. Our guy Rushba, he says, "Do you guys think that Yannick Ngakwe is being underutilized, or he is just not able to produce?"
I want to say a mixture of both
Mm.
because he got to Ben yesterday, got to Ben. I got to Tannehill in the Titans game. He's
Mm-hmm.
still learning. I mean, he should be fully utilized now, but I feel like he's playing against some really good lines, and even the Patriots, they have a top O line.
Yeah,
So I feel like we're gonna see him against these teams now. Like hopefully he can get his groove,
yeah,
but I'm gonna go with a little bit of both. I was expecting more from him. I was expecting sacks, but we haven't gotten that yet.
yeah. Hopefully we can, like you said, hopefully we can get more of that in these last 5 games. Maybe he'll get in the party. He'll get in the action on next week's, the sack total. Because you're saying over 4. I'm holding that 4. Maybe he'll be a part of that.
Better be. We
Let's
need
see.
that.
Who do you think will win the English Premier League?
Okay. Oh, I didn't think we were talking about this on this podcast. But I guess all right. If Liverpool had Virgil van Dijk, I would say they would. They've lost most of their defense. Joe Gomez is out too. People in here probably, what is he talking about right now? But City is looking very good too. As an Arsenal fan, definitely not Tottenham. Screw Tottenham. They're not going to win nothing. I go either City or Chelsea because Chelsea are just stacked. It's not even funny. They have Pulisic, they have Ziyech, they have Havertz now, they have Giroud as a backup, they have Tammy Abraham. They have a great team. So I'm going to go either Chelsea or City.
Okay, okay. So just real quick, like, if you had to is soccer like your favorite sport or like your second favorite sport?
It's that in football because I play it too. Well, I used to play
Okay,
it.
okay. Yeah, so our guy Simply AS10 here, he's a big football guy, but he's also a big soccer guy as well. So all your soccer questions, concerns, comments, anything like that, throw them in the chat. And this guy is the expert in here. He'll be able to, he'll be able to let you know what's good and
Of
what's not.
course. Gotcha.
Me on the other hand, I'm big on football. I love football, of course. I'm really big on MMA, mixed martial arts. So
Yeah.
the UFC, I love the
So
UFC.
when Connor's fight comes up,
Yeah.
talk to him. Ask him. He'll have your review and reaction for that.
Absolutely. All the fights, man. All the fights. I love, mixed martial arts. But yeah, so let's see.
Watching
King
fights with like a bunch of your
56.
friends though that's the best
Oh,
thing.
there's
Having
nothing
everybody
like it,
together.
man.
I want to fight after that too. I'm just in
Yeah.
the mood.
You'll be ready to throw hands after you drink a couple shots of proper 12 Irish whiskey. Let's see.
True.
Zay King 56 says, "Do you think the blitz is messing up our pass rush?" You know what? I think it was, but what Wink showed me yesterday, I felt like he's getting more creative. He's digging in his bag, and I think we talked about this on the last episode. These coordinators, they gotta dig. They gotta go in their bag, deep in their bag, if they want, any chance at taking over these games. And I think Wink Martindale, he did a very, very good job to him. Hats off to him,
100.
calling that game yesterday. So not anymore. I
Speak,
don't think the blitz is messing up our pass rush. I
no.
think Wink is kind of getting past that. But what were you about to say?
Speaking of Wink, did you see when he would bring all those people to the line, then
Hmm.
back two off, so you just overload the one side, and they were getting the
Yeah,
bend?
yeah,
That right there, like I was like, okay, like I'm liking what I'm seeing. Like you don't have to
yeah,
bring the house to get to a quarterback. Just be smart and be creative. And that's
yeah.
wow, a creative coordinator. All I'm saying. We have one of them. Can we get another one,
Right.
please?
If our offensive coordinator was even half as creative as our defensive coordinator, we would be fine. We would probably be what 10-1 right now. Dang it.
I
Oh man.
wish.
Right, I know. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. But let's see. Let's see. What do you guys think made Marquise Brown so successful in his rookie season? That question is from Falou. Me personally,
Ooh,
I think that what made him so successful in his rookie season is that he had more times for his routes to develop because the blocking was a lot better for Lamar Jackson.
yeah.
So those deep routes and everything like that, they would develop, and Lamar would actually be able to look down the field and keep his eyes down the field on Hollywood Brown because he had a Marshall Yonda on the right side, and then he had a Ronnie Stanley on the other side, and then he had, some other guys as well.
Yeah.
But this year, of course, it's a lot different, and I think Marquise Brown is definitely struggling from that. He's kind of being forced to catch the ball quickly, like on quicker routes, which he is not the greatest at because we know that he kind of shies away from contact. And those quick routes, when you catch the ball, you got a defender who's like within 4 or 5 steps, of you, and he's ready to take your head off. And, Marquise Brown is just definitely not, he's not that type of receiver. So,
You took the words out of my mouth. I can't add on to that because that's everything I agree with, 100%.
yeah. Let's see. And it just sucks that we saw all those like training and workout videos
Right.
and
He was
all the
burning
stuff over
Marlon
the off
Humphrey.
season.
He burned him
Yeah,
on one play. I'm like, where has that been?
it just has not been there this year. Let's see. John James says, "Do you think we're gonna see a Jake Paul and Conor McGregor fight?" Well, no, I don't think that we're gonna see a Jake Paul and Conor McGregor
Bro, I
fight
want to
as
see you
much
fight
as
Jake Paul. Oh my God. You are big, bro. I want to see
yeah.
you fight him. Get that bag, please.
John James does look like a pretty big guy in that profile
I think
picture, but
you can take Jake Paul. If that's you, you can take him. Go and
definitely.
get your bag, King.
But I don't see Conor McGregor, taking on Jake Paul anytime soon. Jake Paul literally just started fighting like what 2 years ago. Just started really training. He wasn't really fighting anybody really, but
Yeah.
Conor McGregor's been fighting for years and years, at least over a decade. So Conor McGregor would wipe the floor with him, and it wouldn't even be interesting enough or intriguing enough to hype.
And not even only in the fight, but even in like the pressers. Because that
Yeah,
YouTube trash talk is whole different from the real trash talk.
yeah.
Like we saw it firsthand, so I don't think you could hang with him in any aspect.
No, man. Conor McGregor, he's gonna be like, "I'm gonna bounce your head off the canvas," and then you
And that thick accent,
and that thick accent, bro. You just can't beat him, man. Conor
you
McGregor is
can't.
he's one of the goats of mixed martial arts. Let's see, Josh Rosen or Jamarcus Russell.
Oh,
Why
Johnny Manziel.
Johnny
There we go.
Manziel
My
calling Johnny
my guy,
football?
Johnny Manziel.
Do you think Patrick Quinn will win Defensive Rookie of the Year?
Ooh,
I don't think so. Not at this point, unless he
I
like we said
yeah.
the
Well,
last
who's
five
your front
games,
runner
it's
right
always like,
now?
who is my front runner right now? Defensive Rookie of the Year. I think we were talking Simmons last week. I can't remember if we were talking Simmons, but who else is there right now? I was looking
I
at a
think
list of them not too long ago.
I'm going Chase Young. I'm going. I
Oh,
think
Chase Young. How could I forget?
yeah.
Obviously, yeah. Chase Young. I definitely think Chase Young will get that nod over Patrick Queen. Patrick Queen's gonna have to have an amazing next 5 games. He would have to have like a turnover in like all but what game. He would have to have like a scoop and score or something like
Yeah.
that, a pick six or two. So yeah, I don't think that's gonna
I
happen.
mean, you did predict the Patrick Queen interception,
I
so
did.
maybe
I
you
did.
can bring it to life.
Yeah, I did say that. So, um, man, we are about an hour and 40 minutes into the show now, so we're gonna go ahead and let you guys go on this one. We appreciate all you guys for coming through, rocking out with us.
Oh,
Uh,
real quick, I see my guy God Baby Prod say Antoine Winfield. That is a great, great, great answer for Defensive Rookie of the Year. He is balled out. Their safety. If you watch Bucks games, keep an eye on number 31.
I'll have to check him out.
Yeah, he's
I gotta check
a
him out.
stud. They got him out of Minnesota. His dad played for the Vikings. Antoine Winfield Sr. I was high out of him out of college. He was very, very good. So the Bucks have a scary good secondary. I know they just got burnt up to a crisp by the Chiefs. But that's the Chiefs.
Yeah. Let's see. I have to definitely check him out. But Fatal Storm Clan says, please don't end. Man, all good things must come to an end. But we appreciate all of you guys
We'll be back
for
Monday.
coming through. You know, we're going to be back Monday previewing that Cowboys game. And we appreciate all you guys for coming through. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to our channel as well. And this has been episode 7 of the Purple Rain podcast. I am Sutton Def. You can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Sutton Def, SUTTONDEF. Go ahead, give me a follow, man. Give me a follow. I like interacting with you guys on Twitter and Instagram too. And yeah, also, if you're watching this video after the fact and you want to leave us a question for the next video, please leave that down below. And this is Alex Silverman.
Yes, that's me. Twitter, Alex Silverman _ IG simply AS10.prod. And before we go, see that nice white sweatshirt he's wearing? Tell him about it. Where can you get it at? Because that's clean.
So, appreciate that, man. And you can get this sweater from olerclothing.com. That's OLUR clothing.com. And, you know, it's basically just a clothing line that I have. It stands for overlooked, underrated. So if you ever feel like you got a chip on your shoulder, somebody's counting you out, but you know you've got bigger and better things coming, go ahead and invest in some Oler. Overlooked, underrated, the brand. And that's olerclothing.com. So I'll put that in the comments for you guys. But like I said, if you have any questions or anything like that for us for the next episode, just, you know, let us know in the comment section there. And we'll get to it next time. So yeah, with that being said, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. All right, bro? That's cool with you?
Yeah, and like the Ravens, please test negative. All right?
Yeah.
I don't want to see no more COVID cases. Test negative. But stay positive.
Stay positive, because the rest of the season can bring joy. And you know, it's Christmas season now.
Yes.
December just started. So I know we already lost the first game, you know, in December, but we may be coming back winning out these last 5 games. Let's just hope, guys. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Any given Sunday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Monday or Thursday, whenever they play them.
Exactly.
We have Saturday games soon, too. I don't know. Like, it's football every day of the week.
Right. But this has been the Purple Rain Podcast, episode 7. We're going to catch you guys in the next one. Peace.